Cranberry, and Cranberry once again. What's up, 23% Nation? This is your man, Coach D. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm back with fruit of the day, the one and only cranberry. So maybe you like them, maybe you've never had them, maybe you've never heard of them before. Well, whatever the case may be, please listen on. Why? Because we're about to dive just a little deeper into the wonderful world of the cranberry. All right, first up, just a little bit of background information. The word cranberry derives from craneberry because the early European settlers in the United States felt that the expanding flower, stem, calyx, and petals resembled the neck, head, and bill of a crane bird. Interesting correlation. In 17th century New England, cranberries were sometimes called bearberries because bears were often seen eating them. Interesting. So I guess humans aren't the only ones who like cranberries. The cranberry tree is actually native to North America. Now, normally, when I do videos, we find out that a lot of fruits that we eat come from different parts of the world, right? Africa, Europe, South America, but finally we got one that is actually native to North America. Next little bit of background information. Fall, meaning the season or the time of year, is usually the best time to get fresh cranberries as they are harvested normally in September and October. That's right. So basically what this translates to is that if you want to get cranberries on the cheap, then you probably want to make sure that you purchase them during the fall season. And our last little bit of background information, since the early 21st century, raw cranberries have been marketed as a superfood. That's right, guys, a superfood because of their hefty nutrient content and antioxidant qualities. Now, in a little while, we're going to talk much more about those antioxidants and, of course, its nutrient content. But for now, that is just a little bit of background information about the one and only cranberry. All right, now it's time for a few fun facts. Cranberries can be kept in the refrigerator for about 20 days. And they can be kept frozen for several years. That's right. So what does this mean? Well, what it means is that once you get the cranberries back home from the farmer's market or from your local grocery store, and you can't use all of them, well, guess what? Either put them in the freezer or the refrigerator. Next little fun fact. Historically, Native Americans used cranberries in spiritual ceremonies. Interesting. And they were harvested for their bright colors and used to dye clothing. So I guess we now know where the cranberry color of clothing actually comes from. Thank God for the Native Americans. All right, so there you have it, guys. Not one, but two fun facts about the one and only cranberry. All right, now it's time to dive into the not so fun facts. Here we go, guys. Frequently, cranberries are processed into products such as juices, canned sauces, sugary jams, and sweetened dried cranberries. This may make them convenient, but it also depletes them of their nutritional value and cranks up the sugar content. Now, take a look at the picture. Looks amazing. Guys, that's the famous Thanksgiving cranberry sauce. That's right. I love that stuff. But as you can see, it's highly processed, meaning it contains dyes, additives, and preservatives. So please be careful. All right, here's our next not so fun fact. If you take the blood thinning drug warfarin, you may want to talk to your doctor before adding cranberries to your diet. Some evidence shows that cranberries can enhance the drug's effect on the body. In fact, several cases have been reported of patients who experience an increase of bleeding due to suspected cranberry consumption while taking warfarin. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be careful of cranberries if you're taking any type of blood thinning medication. Also, consuming high amounts of cranberry products can can promote the formation of kidney stones. Oh no, because of the increase in urine oxalate excretion. So, if you find out that you are susceptible to developing kidney stones, definitely stay away from cranberries. And here's our last little not so fun fact. Here's a question. Can dogs eat cranberries? Right? I mean, for those of us who have those furry little friends running around our houses, we always want to make sure that they are loved. We always want to make sure that they are healthy, right? And so sometimes we feed them the foods that we eat. But the question is, should dogs be eating cranberries? Well, here's the answer. While cranberries are considered generally safe, it's best to keep intake in moderation to avoid digestive distress. So please, guys, even though your dog may be begging you for your cranberries, just simply say no. Why? Because we want to keep them healthy. We don't want them to have any type of gastrointestinal distress. We don't want to have to take them to the vet because ultimately that's another bill, right? So let's keep our finances on the low and avoid giving your dogs cranberries. So there you have it, guys. A few not so fun facts about cranberries. All right, now it's time to dive into the 520 rule. Ladies and gentlemen, the 520 rule is all about food labels. That's right. Ultimately, it's a guide. It's a guide that lets us know whether or not a food item is a good source or not a good source of any particular nutrient. Now, when we talk about the 520 rule, ultimately we're talking about percent daily value, abbreviated percent DV. Now, let's take a look at our sample food label. As you can see, this sample food label is divided into several different parts, namely the highlighted parts. There is a part that's highlighted in lavender. It says percent daily value, and then you notice a column of percentages. And then we have our next section, which is highlighted in yellow, right? So we have total fat, saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, and sodium. Now, when it comes to these particular nutrients, these are the nutrients which unfortunately do the body a lot of harm. Specifically, they help to promote disease within the body temple. So when it comes to the 520 rule, you want to make sure that these nutrients are on the lower end of the scale. Now, if we focus on the nutrients that are highlighted in light blue, such as dietary fiber, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron, which basically represent all vitamins and minerals, these are the nutrients that actually do just the opposite of the nutrients that are highlighted in yellow. Remember, the nutrients that are highlighted in yellow promote disease. The nutrients that are highlighted in light blue do just the opposite. Rather than promote disease, they promote health and well-being within the body temple. So when it comes to these nutrients, you definitely want to make sure that they are at the higher end of the 520 rule. So it's time to drop our generalities and let's now dive into the specifics of the 520 rule. Guys, if a food offers anywhere from 0% to 9% DV of any particular nutrient, then technically it is not a good source of that nutrient. However, if it offers 10% to 19% DV, then that food item is considered a good source of that particular nutrient. Next up, if the food item offers 20% DV or greater, then that food item is considered an excellent source of that particular nutrient. So there we have it, guys, the ins and outs about the 520 rule. Okay, now that we are aware of the 520 rule, let's now dive into the nutrition facts, shall we? So for today's lecture, we're going to simply say that a single serving of cranberries is equivalent to only 1 cup. That's it, guys, just 1 cup, right? So in this 1 cup, here's what we're going to get. We're going to get 50.6 calories, 13.4 grams of carbohydrates, 0.4 grams of protein, 0.1 gram of fat, 5.1 grams of fiber, Now let's dive into the vitamins and minerals. Vitamin C comes in at 24% DV. Now remember something, based on the 520 rule, 24% is greater than 20%. So yes, 1 cup of cranberries is an excellent source of vitamin C. Next up is manganese, coming in at 20% DV. So according to the 520 rule, 1 cup of chopped cranberries is an excellent source of manganese. Then we have vitamin E. Now notice that there's a huge drop off. It only comes in at 7% DV. So unfortunately, 1 cup of cranberries is not a good source of vitamin E. Next up is vitamin K, coming in at only 7% as well. So 1 cup of chopped cranberries is not a good source of vitamin K. Next up is vitamin B6, coming in at only 3% DV. So no, it's not a good source of vitamin B6. Then we have pantothenic acid, potassium, and copper all coming in at only 3% DV. So it is quite unfortunate, but 1 cup of chopped cranberries is not a good source of pantothenic acid, potassium, or copper. Now, we gotta give a little bit of love to our phytonutrients. That's right, guys. Remember something. Phytonutrients are phytochemicals. What are phytochemicals? Those are simply chemicals that come from plants. Remember something. Plants are living organisms just like you and me, your dogs, the whales, the fish, right? The lions and the tigers. So in order for them to keep themselves happy and healthy, they have to produce certain chemicals which help them survive and thrive. Now, not all phytochemicals are beneficial to the human body. The ones that are termed phytonutrients, right? So today I want to give just a little bit of love to the phytonutrients that help out the human body, right? So I want you to say hello to anthocyanins, quercetin, benzoic acid, and we cannot forget about epications. That's right, guys. So those are your phytonutrients that are commonly found in plants, but specifically cranberries. All right, now let's dive into the health benefits. But before we do, Coach D wants to drop a few wisdom dimes. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I really want to talk with you about one of the 7 Hermetic principles. It's called the principle of cause and effect, which basically means every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. There is no such thing as chance and or luck. So what does all that mean? It simply means that everything happens for a reason. So how do we bring this 360? Remember something. We're talking about health. We're talking about being totally well, right? So guess what? In order for you to become healthy, in order for you to become totally well, you must cause it. So what does this all mean? It simply means that the health benefits are the effects, whereas the nutrients are the causes, right? So if you want to experience any of these health effects, you must first put cranberries inside of your body temple. So what happens once we eat cranberries? Number one, they're going to help prevent and treat any type of urinary tract infection that you may have. Also, they decrease inflammation. They may help prevent certain cancers. They may also boost your immune function. That's right. Now, there is one particular phytonutrient that we got to give just a little bit of love to, right? Why? Because it helps keep our immune system healthy. Say hello to proanthocyanidins, right? They also benefit the digestive tract and they help reduce your risk of heart disease. So there you have it, guys, a few health benefits of the one and only cranberry. All right, now it's time to talk about food. Yes, say hello to forksoverknives.com. By the way, there is a movie entitled Forks Over Knives, which I highly recommend you watch. Now, as usual, I went to the website and did just a little bit of research on cranberries, and look at what I found. Two amazing vegan cranberry dishes. By the way, did I mention that Forks Over Knives is our website for everything vegan? Yes, it is, guys. So, the first recipe that I got was radicchio salad with cranberry orange dressing. Take a look at the picture. Looks amazing. The second vegan cranberry dish that I, excuse me, that I found for you is entitled 5-Minute Cranberry Relish. Now, maybe you are enjoying this, and maybe I piqued your interest as to actually making, tasting these dishes and sharing them with your friends and family. So if you're inclined, please click on the description box. I'm providing you with a link to each recipe. Now here's the good news. When you get to the site, it's going to give you a lot of information, such as cooking time, ingredients, and instructions. That's right. ForksOverKnives.com is going to provide you with everything you need to know in order to make these dishes. So do me a favor. Go to the website, follow the instructions, make them, taste them, then come back to the video and let me know exactly how it went. So there you have it, guys. Not one, but two amazing vegan cranberry dishes from ForksOverKnives.com. All right, 23% Nation, I hear you. A lot of you say, well, Coach D, thanks for the fun facts. Coach D, thank you for the not so fun facts. And Coach D, thanks for the two recipes. But what I really want to know is, when should I eat more cranberries? Well, guys, if that's your question, then the perfect day, and I do mean the perfect day to eat more cranberries, is Nature Day. What? Nature Day? Yes, Nature Day. Guys, Nature Day happens to be the first day of the 23% challenge. Now, maybe you don't know what the 23% challenge is. Well, in a nutshell, the 23% challenge is a monthly 7-day wellness program that is designed to help improve your health, your wealth, your relationships. Oh, and by the way, it also helps to save good old planet Earth. That's right, in only 7 days. As a matter of fact, it happens to be the first 7 days of every single month. That's right, guys, the first through the 7th. Now, Nature Day happens to be the first day of the 23% challenge, which simply means Nature Day is the first day of every single month, right? So whether it's October 1st, November 1st, or even December 1st, it's always Nature Day. Now, perhaps you are in the mood to learn a little more about Nature Day. Well, if that's you, here's what you got to know. Nature Day is all about getting closer to nature. Now, yes, there are lots of things you can do to get closer to nature, right? I mean, you can go to a zoo and observe and pet the animals. You can go take a dip in a lake, or you can go skinny dipping in the ocean. Why not? But for today, Nature Day's purpose is all about eating more plants. That's right, guys. It's time to eat what nature provides, right? So maybe you're the type of person who wants to lose a little bit of weight. Maybe you're the type of person who just simply wants to eat more plants. Or maybe you're the type of person who is thinking about transitioning to a more whole food, plant-based diet. Well, if that's you, then I've come up with 3 ways to help facilitate that. So the first way is called becoming a 3% vegan, right? Now, what does that mean? Well, what it simply means is that you choose only 1 day out of an entire month to eat only plant foods and drink only water. Now, the second avenue is to become a 13% vegan, which translates to you only eating plant foods and drinking only water only 4 days out of an entire month. Now, there are 2 ways in which you can go about this. You may want to do the first 4 days of the month Or, providing the month has 4 weeks, you could do 1 day per week. Now, the third way is to try to become a 23% vegan. Now, what is a 23% vegan? Well, that's a person, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only 7 days out of an entire month, specifically the first 7 days. Now, technically, that's what Coach D considers himself, is to be a 23% vegan. Now, what does that mean, right? Once again, it means that I only eat plant foods and drink only water the first 7 days of every single month. Now, which plant foods do I eat? It's simple. I only eat from the 5 food groups of plant foods. Now that brings up a question. What are the 5 food groups of plant foods? It's easy. All fruits, all vegetables and herbs, all nuts and seeds, all legumes, meaning beans and peas, and we cannot forget about whole grains. That's right, guys, whole grains. So there you have it. You now know the ins and outs about Nature Day. All right, now you're all excited. Great. So what I want to do now is offer you a few tips. Why? Because I want your Nature Day to be successful. So tip number 1, go visit your local grocery store. Now here's the thing. When you get to the store, you basically are going to go into 2 places. Number 1 is going to be the produce section. Why? Because that's where all of the fresh plant foods are located. And secondly, you're going to go to the freezer aisle. Why? Because that's where all the frozen plant foods are located. That's right, guys. Eating fresh plant foods and frozen plant foods are comparable. Second tip is to go visit your local farmer's market. Now, believe it or not, farmers markets do exist. Now, you may not know where one is, but all you have to do is go to Google and type in farmers markets near me. And within less than half of a second, Google will give you your desired results. Now, there are some advantages to shopping at a farmer's market versus a local grocery store. For instance, number 1, the produce, or shall we say the plant foods, are going to be organic. As a matter of fact, they'll be organic, but certified organic, more specifically. Also, because the food is grown locally, that means a few things. Number 1, less transportation time, so there's a savings right there, right? And also, there'll be less pesticides and herbicides on the foods. Why? Because it's grown locally, meaning less transportation time. Tip number 3 is to go visit the prepared dishes section of your local grocery store. Now, some stores may call it the kitchen. Whatever the case may be, just walk on over there and ask the person behind the counter if they offer any vegan options. If they do, then ask for a sample taste, and providing you like it, purchase it by the pound or maybe even 2 pounds. Why not? And my 4th tip is to go visit a vegan restaurant. That's right, guys. Vegan restaurants are amazing. It's time for us to support the wellness community, right? So maybe you're the type of person who doesn't even know that vegan restaurants exist. Well, Coach D is here to let you know that they actually do. As a matter of fact, just go back to Google and type in vegan restaurants near me. Now, within less than half of a second, Google will give you your desired results. So grab your keys, hop in the car, drive on over. Now, when you get there, do 2 things. Number 1, let them know that Coach D sent you. And number 2, be sure to order something with cranberries in it. Now, here's probably the most amazing thing about vegan restaurants is that they hire vegan chefs. Now, the advantage of eating food cooked by a vegan chef are twofold. Number 1, they know exactly how to cook plant foods so that they retain most of their nutrients. And number 2, they know which plant foods to combine to not only to provide the body with more nutrients, but of course to provide a dish that is delicious. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 4 amazing tips to help make your Nature Day successful. All right, it's time for our question of the day. Why? Because we have inquiring minds. So we want to know, true or false? Craneberry and Bearberry are alternative names for the cranberry. So I believe I gave you that answer earlier in the video. So please write your answer in the comment box below. All right, guys, I want to thank you for watching. I definitely want to thank you for listening. As always, let's eat well, feel well, think well, do well, be well. This is your man, Coach D. Now, before I sign out, I got to ask you to please subscribe, like, and share the video, especially if you love cranberries. And don't forget to use our 3-word mantra. It's hashtag eat more plants. As stated earlier, my name is Coach D. So take care, God bless, and never ever forget that Coach D loves you.